We are back.
Hey,
We are back in this. Where are we?
we are actually not in Munich anymore. We decided to move town.
Well, only partially. I mean, our lives are still in Munich,
That's true.
but our professional lives now moved to the beautiful city of
Nuremberg.
Franconia, a bit north. And this is actually our professional flat that we are sharing, and this is the actual kitchen. So there's no cooking going on anymore since we bolted all these cameras around the place.
But recording is going on. So this recording studio now, after a year or so, I think it's a year, since we recorded the last Nerd Rant, is now moved into the kitchen of our shared apartment in Nuremberg. And this is our very first recording here because we have news for you.
This being our very first recording, you might notice some stuff. For example, we are still holding the mic, so didn't get to proper mic stands. I'm still editing manually here, so doing all the beautiful stuff. It's a bit improvised, but we're getting there. So
We're getting there.
But let's go to the news. Let's get to the news. So the news is only partially new news because you had that change of career already for 4 years now?
Yeah, I'm now in my 4th year as a professor at the University of Applied Sciences in Nuremberg, teaching CGI. And the news is that Mo,
That is me. I'm a professor here now too.
yeah, funny coincidence. He's a professor here now too. And your field is called...
So my field is called computational design.
Yes. So we are teaching CGI and computational design at the Faculty of Design at the Nuremberg University of Applied Sciences.
And what you see here is actually not the official webpage of the faculty, but something new that's been in the making. And that's also the reason that we've been so quiet lately, because we've been implementing this thing.
Exactly. So, news for you. First news is we are back with this Nerd Rant. A little Nerd Rant, and we will hopefully be able to record Nerd Rants regularly in the future. Again, now that we have set up the studio, at least.
And generally, you will hopefully see more of us again online.
Exactly.
Not only did we set up a studio and all the recording equipment that goes with everything that Entagma does, but also we set up this thing here. So let's talk about this. This is a master's program, a master's degree actually. So what we were tasked with, and we felt lucky to be tasked with, because let's be frank, this is quite an amazing job to have, is come up with a master's program for the Faculty of Design at Nuremberg Tech.
Exactly. For more or less 20 years, we went with a bachelor's degree only, and I am teaching in the bachelor's program since I started there. And now it was time to extend this lineup with a new master's program. And I don't know if you can imagine, but designing a master's program is quite a bit of work. Work that goes on top of the regular teaching. And that is exactly why you did not see any tutorials from us, nor any Nerd Rants, but we just vanished from the scene. And thanks to Chris. Thank you, Chris, for your amazing work.
Yes,
Chris still
Kopik.
going.
Yeah, Chris Kopik
In the
is the
meantime.
man keeping us going. Keeping us afloat during these times.
Exactly.
But now, back to the thing. So this is what we implemented while we kind of retreated from the internet. This is a 4 semesters degree finishing with a Master's of Arts, German Masters of Arts at a German public university in the south of Germany, Bavaria. And this is one of the first programs, not only at the faculty, but also at the university, that is international.
Exactly. So we are targeting not only German or European Union students, but we are targeting students from all around the globe. And that is why this is one of the first programs at our university that is held entirely in English.
That's
and
correct.
it is called Design for Digital Futures. And by futures, I don't mean the stock market thing. By futures, I mean there is possibly very many different futures. So we want to design one of them or all of them or just speculate.
Yeah. Hopefully we will design a utopia, not a dystopia, but let's see how things go.
Yes.
So 4 semesters taught in English. 1 semester is abroad. So we've got a bunch of exciting partners partner institutions.
Yeah, I think I can scroll down to show them to you.
Scroll down and we'll read them out. So currently, if you scroll down a bit further and further, and there we go. So currently we are talking with the University of Coimbra in Portugal, which has got a really, really charming computer science and visualization program located in the Department of Informatics Sciences, as they are called there.
They are really doing fantastic stuff. Very, very funny stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they had a paper that was called Stonkinator, a generator
Exactly.
of mimetic images. So that was quite amusing.
Yeah.
And then we have the Breda University of Applied Sciences in the Netherlands, really famous for its game program and tech artist-focused programs. One of the prime collaborators of Side Effects as well when it comes to this.
Fantastic people teaching there.
Then we've got the University of Bournemouth, also one of the prime schools that teaches you generative design and design with a focus on AI and VFX.
Mm-hmm.
So lots of quite amazing graduates have met from this department that are also in the 3D CGI field. And finally, we've got the SVA, School of Visual Arts in New York. So a bit more arts focused, a bit more artistic, but also, I mean, it's SVA, it's a big name.
Yeah, that's true. But does that mean that students will go to one of these universities in the third term?
Not necessarily.
No.
Not necessarily. So if a student decides they want to go at another institution, no problem, as long as it's an academic institution whose credits we can actually accept.
Okay. Let me summarize. So we have a brand new master's program.
That's correct.
When does it start?
Forgot about that. So it starts October 1st this year, and applications start May 1st or May 2nd.
So it's around the corner.
It's yeah. If you're considering going there, you need to prepare your application, because May will be application month, and then we will decide who to take in. We're planning on taking in 15 to 20 people once a year, and the application info will be posted on the site as soon as it is online. An application typically requires you to have a portfolio, or that means just examples of your work. And this can be really broad. So it's not your typical portfolio. For example, from illustration, you get these portfolios where you draw a lot.
Yeah.
The classical design portfolios contain maybe a bit of graphic design, some magazines, some posters. It doesn't necessarily have to be that. Mm-hmm. It can also be an app that you programmed. It can also be a series of photographs that you did, some renderings. Just show us some design-related topic that you're proud of and that you think embodies what you are and what you want to do.
So the program targets people that are designers. People that have a design background or a bachelor's in design, Bachelor of Arts, anything like that?
To be discussed. I mean, it's a non-consecutive degree. That means it targets anyone who's got a certain willingness to design, a certain design aesthetic, a certain feeling for design, and that wants to take their design skills and their craft skills to another level when it comes to cutting-edge technology.
Okay, so I think it's time that you explain a little bit more in detail what this program is actually about.
Okay, so shall we look at the maybe curriculum? Maybe that says a bit more, or do you think we should... Let's just talk of these semesters here. Let me switch to the web view here. There, we got it. So the first 2 semesters, in my opinion, are a boot camp. Mm-hmm. So as we are expecting a very wide, very heterogeneous group of applicants, of students coming in, the first semesters we should use to get everyone on the same page and on the same skill set. Mm-hmm. And that includes the tech and the design foundations. In tech, we are doing computer science and math, just to enable people to use and understand modern developing tech, such as AI techniques or generative techniques, on a fundamental level, and also to enable them to start understanding what's written in comp sci papers, for example.
Mm-hmm. But will this be only about AI, or do we have classical computer graphics in there too?
No. It's classical computer graphics, as in our opinion, the foundation of computer graphics and the math behind computer graphics is a very good base and quite similar to the math needed in newer fields such as AI.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
It's very more visual. It's much more understandable, in my opinion. So that's the Computer Science and Math Foundation. Then we have design research, and this is a position that is currently to be filled, and lots of this will be defined by the person becoming professor for design research. I could imagine lectures on scientific writing. I could imagine discussions about where design research is heading, best practices in design research, and also application-based design research, which culminates in the design project, which is a combination between tech and research. So basically a real-world project where you are applying the skills that you learned.
So, if I understand this correctly, I mean, I had a part in designing this, but
it's not that it's new to you.
let me ask anyways. If I understand this correctly, we have two columns. We have on one side the technical column, Computer Science Foundation. So we are taking in people with a design background. We don't want to teach design. Everybody who comes in already knows how to design. Whether they have a degree in design or whether they just are able to design or interested in designing is not that important. It's just we will not talk about design here, at least not directly, but indirectly. But we will teach computer science and the maths necessary to do design, to do AI related design tasks, to do generative design and stuff like that.
Basically, we want to empower design-focused minds to enable newest tech in their design work, no matter of the medium or of the artifact that they are going to produce.
I mean, most of you expected exactly this from the Tagma guys, right? And then we have another column, and that is called design research, because we want a strong academic foundation in there too.
That's correct.
So it's not only about doing practical design work with all the tech that we learn there, but at the same time, we want to have this founded in research. We want to publish papers, not necessarily, but we might. And I think the master's is meant to be the foundation for either a career in design regarding new tech, or even an academic career, right?
So yeah, in my opinion, it's you could either go into the industry, you could do freelance work or artistic work, but you might as well be able to do an academic career, yes, and do a PhD afterwards. Yeah, that's my hope for the program.
Okay, so that was semester 1.
Okay, semester 2 is basically a clone of semester 1, just diving more in-depth topics, diving deeper into the whole thing, but the structure is extremely similar. So not much need to talk about this. This is just your 2 semesters, your boot camp.
Okay.
Again, tech and research, and combining it into one or more projects.
And then people go abroad, and when they return, they start working on their master thesis.
Correct.
Or basically they start thinking about their master's thesis while abroad, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Then they come back with a lot of new views on the world and new fresh ideas, and then they try to implement these at Nuremberg Tech with their master's thesis.
That is correct.
Okay.
Now, the questions we often get when we present this, and we presented this at some conferences already, and the questions I typically get is is this an online program or do I have to be on site? And the answer there is you have to be on site. This is a full-time program in Nuremberg, Germany.
Do we have any help for international students coming in?
Glad you're asking.
Okay.
So, I mean, we've got an international office. Thank you for the segue. We've got an international office helping with stuff like visa formulas,
accommodation.
Forms, exactly, all of that. Fees are yet to be discussed. They will be lower or equal to 600 euros per semester. That is the maximum upper boundaries that we are currently seeing in the discussions.
And there will be differences in fees regarding where exactly you come from, right?
I think I understand it like this. I think it's these are the highest fees, and the highest fees apply for non-EU citizens, I think. And EU citizens, I think, have lower fees. But still, that is to be discussed. But 600 bucks
up to our legal
per semester is the upper bound, I understand. So 1,200 bucks per year max, most likely a bit lower. But let's see. What else were the questions? Are people able to work on the site? Yes. The program is specifically laid out so that people will be able to have a job on the site, as we see that with most master students in the other programs at the university, for example, the tech programs such as engineering or computer sciences. Most people work already while they do the masters.
Mm-hmm.
So our hope is to design a schedule so that people will have only a set amount of days within the university and have 2 days at least in the week where they can work.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Great.
the idea.
Sounds good. Okay.
What else do we have? Well, I mean,
That is just some impressions.
This is Nuremberg, Germany. I mean, this is all the bachelors, so I assume the masters might be a bit less crowded. We're seeing quite a few impressions here from our film students, but also a bit of social life, and some hints at our, let's call it, vintage facilities.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's yours truly, and I love what they did there with the 2 of us.
At least we are not looking like plastic surgeons anymore, right?
Well, that is correct, but
Okay.
Nevertheless, they did that with us.
Okay, thank you, Moritz, for introducing us to the new master's program. So now you know why Antagma partially vanished for a year.
Yeah.
It is this. We are quite proud of the program, and we hope that we can maybe welcome some of you here at Nuremberg to study with us and work with us on new exciting stuff at Nuremberg Tech. And for everybody else who does not want to go to Nuremberg or does not want to do a master's degree now, we will see more stuff coming to Antagma too.
Exactly. I think
Now that this baby is done.
I think the only thing that I want to add to this is I'm looking very much forward to seeing your application for this. Applications start in May.
Yep.
And until then,
It's cheers.
and goodbye. See you.